Ready. So we spent a long time on Ketchermos. We spent some time with some other cards from Aetherdrift, but we're going to get to a few more today. We're starting off with Monument to Endurance. Pretty exciting card, 3-mana artifact. It says whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card, make a treasure token, each opponent loses 3 life. This is, at a service level, really cool because it's both a card advantage engine, mana engine, win condition. And I found so far that getting 2 of these into play is really, really crazy. You get to draw a lot of cards, deal a lot of damage. What's also really cool is that this triggers on both players' turns, your turn and your opponent's turn. So if you can cast this, tap a cookbook, pass, tap another cookbook, cycle Street Wraith, you get to choose whatever the best mode is twice. This card is also, I think, pretty interesting with Goblin Engineer, being able to search up copies and put them into play. Kind of simply put, maybe I've been really interested in Goblin Engineer plus Arena of Glory for a while. The ability to give a Goblin Engineer haste and then tutor up something and put it into play immediately has been interesting to me for a long time, but I have just never found a good card to do this with. And I think Monument to Endurance is there's a good chance that this is that card, I think. It's been looking pretty good so far. I also think that's cool because we have Faithless Looting and we have Cookbook, we have Inti. You can afford to main deck a bunch of sideboard cards. You can afford to main deck like Ensnaring Bridge, Torpor Orb, Pithing Needle, because if they're bad, you can just loot them away. You can even sack them to Goblin Engineer sometimes. And this is going to go a really long way against decks like Breach and Black-White / Titan and, Boros Energy. So let's start gaming. Wait, Engineer with haste. How have we not seen this sooner? Because so this is yesterday's deck. I've spent a long time trying to find something to do with Goblin Engineer with haste. Like, you would not believe the amount of time I tried to figure out, like Cursed Mirror. I was trying to go infinite with Goblin Engineer and Cursed Mirror for like days, and the closest I got was that Rings of Brighthearth plus Cursed Mirror plus Lotus Bloom gives you infinite activations and that you can't do anything with. So you would need something like Altar of the Brood to actually go infinite. So as far as Cursed Mirror, Goblin Engineer goes, I couldn't find anything that was less than like a 5-card combo. But finally, I'm very excited to get to play with Goblin Engineer and Arena of Glory. My contractually obligated to try to make an Asmo deck every new set release. Well, they sure do print a lot of cards that go with Asmo, huh? Okay, let's discard a Cookbook. Also, Mox Opal, kind of only gets turned on by Cookbook here, but between Asmo, Saga, and Cookbook itself, you're pretty good at drawing this card. Yeah, I would love to top deck a Monument here. Could Dredger's Insight help? Can gain infinite life during that loop. I mean, it's just that loop is too many cards. Like, it's not. It's the issue with that loop is not. Let's just add one more card, brother. One more card, and then we're fucking good to go. It's just that it's just too many cards. There, you could just go Underworld Breach Grinding Station. Just one more card. Just one more card, and we've got a combo. Yeah, Arena would be really nice because we could have put the Monument into play here. We're gonna try to get one in the yard. Maybe my opponent spell snares me. Yeah, that is what I'm gonna tutor up. I'm gonna play Cookbook. Pass back. Are there any legs to Ketchermos and Dredge cards? Just Ketchermos, Frog, Stake, we get Mill, Exile, draw the rest of your deck. It can. I just don't think that that's a good way to build your Ketchermos decks. Kind of simply put, I've been saying this all week. Ketchermos is really good with good cards. Ketchermos is a combo with like a bunch of modern staples, and I'm not particularly interested in trying to pair it with a bunch of, like a pile of like lower quality cards when it works with the really high quality cards. I don't think this is going to be a Nadu situation where I end up just eating my my words here. I think that this is going to be how it works, but I was wrong about Nadu. We'll see if I'm wrong about this too. All right, Flame of Nowhere to they killed my Mox Opal? Interesting. Surprised they didn't flip the Tamio. I guess we are gonna make a Saga token here. Base with the 41 months. Think we'll come back. Appreciate you. Number one sign that Ketra is busted was designed for Commander. They said it was designed for Commander. That is a bad sign. Have I tried fitting Ketramos in my Titan deck? Yes, in the Mardu Titan deck. Okay, they reveal the spell snare here. Yes. I didn't seem like as good a fit in like the Mardu Unearthed Shell. I felt a pretty distinct lack of solitudes. We can only make one Saga token this turn, so we might as well float a mana here. I'm gonna grab a Mox Opal, and then I'm gonna cast this Shadowspear. And if they cast Counterspell, I might end up casting Inti over making another Saga token. Love the content, brother. Do you ever do opinions on custom builds? That was something I've done for a long time, but the problem is it's ended up becoming a really big distractor from the stream, unfortunately. Where like the more I do them, the longer everything takes, and it's just I don't really know how to balance deck techs anymore. So, but hopefully one day I can figure out the right balance. But right now, it's not something I offer. Like, we did paid deck techs for a long time, and it just was too distracting for the stream. And then we just did channel points, it was too distracting. And then it was just kind of a free-for-all frenzy, and now they're just not part of the stream, really. It was me, Bamju, with the 25 months. Thank you, welcome back. Ketramos probably the most promising Orzhov CEDH commander ever. I mean, I don't have an exhaustive list of these cards, but that sounds like that's probably the case. So they may flip the Tamio, but it would die kind of immediately. One day a month, deck tech day, maybe. I mean, I do. There is kind of the hidden. I like to look at decks in between rounds of tournaments. This is the time I really like to just like take a moment while we have some downtime. So there is that. Okay, so they take up the Tamio. We can give this construct trample if we want to. Let's go ahead and discard this Goblin Engineer and see what we see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go make a construct, Pithing Needle, Tamio, Seasoned Scholar. This kind of saves me attack, right? Tamio, Seasoned Scholar. Play Mountain. Just sack or draw a card here. Oh, I guess I can go now. Cycle the Street Wraith, trigger Inti. We have some zeros in the deck, but it's obviously not super likely we get to. Oh no, sorry, I meant to discard. Oh no, I meant to discard this to the Inti, not to not to the cookbook. I don't know. My brain just discarded it to the cookbook instead. But we wouldn't have quite had lethal anyways because of the Tamio -1. But I did mean to discard this and give this trample. Sorry about that. Is Goblin Engineer good? If so, why no Dragon Engine? This is a kind of a funny question. Is this card good? If so, why not play this kind of shitty card? I mean, I guess kind of simply, I'm thinking that if I want to, so the times you get Dragon Engine are kind of when you expect Goblin Engineer to die, right? That's the time where you tutor up Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I think I'm more interested in tutoring up Scrapwork Mutt instead of Phyrexian Dragon Engine because you get kind of I think it's a bit easier to like loop with Goblin Engineer. I think it's it's nice to not have to discard your hand in this deck sometimes, and it's a little bit cheaper on the curve. It's also better to draw Scrapwork Mutt than it is better to draw Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Uh-oh, Flame of Anor. They're at 1 life anyways. I guess we could have stopped them from having 2 modes if we had given Trample instead. But yeah, I mean, I think Goblin Engineer is exciting with Arena of Glory being able to put Monument into play kind of immediately. I don't know that we have broken Goblin Engineer here though. All right, so here's another copy of Inti. My opponent has the Spell Snare in the yard. Is there anything I could looting into this turn? Not really. But you know what? I've probably cast more Goblin Engineers than just about anybody, and I certainly have not ever, like, really felt like the Dragon Engine stuff is particularly powerful. So Krat, with the 60 months, thank you, welcome back. Was Trash for Treasure build consideration too fragile? So I'm thinking about Trash for Treasure. I'm thinking about Trash for Treasure with Radiant Lotus and the new Duretti. This is something I am interested in trying to figure out. For me, this is not really a monument build. Okay, interesting that they're attacking with this. I guess if they sack the other clue, the Tommy flips. If Anger was legal, would it be busted? I think it would be pretty good. You know, the Hollow One deck is a pretty dang playable archetype. So good news if this resolves. Damn it. Are we getting twinned? Okay, well, I'm going to try to resolve this here. I actually hope it gets countered because that means their last card isn't twin. Have you seen anyone play Aetherspark by chance? I've not seen anyone do it, nor have I really been watching a lot of other people. I do have an Aetherspark deck, though, that I'm hoping to play today. Traz, the 43 months, thank you, welcome back. I have a deck that's playing 4 Bright Glass Gearhulk and an Aetherspark. Coming to stream it now, I see Splitting Twin. Hell yeah. Like I keep every time I pop into Dingo stream, he keeps playing Radiant Lotus, and it's kind of shocking to me that he's just. I love that he loves this card so much, but it just doesn't really strike me as a card that I would really associate with like his playstyle, which is funny. I'm glad he's branching out. Okay, so Torpor Orb stops Splinter Twin combo. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same, huh? Pithing Needle can also stop the combo. Can also name the flip side of Tomio, as you saw that game. I'm gonna cut the Ensnaring Bridge. I mean, they're also playing the Thundertrap Trainer. I think I just want the one Torpor Orb. One Unholy Heat, 2 Unholy Heat, 3. I think let's try to get all the heats in here. Let's cut the Lantern. Cut the Lantern. I don't know about the Needle. Let's not play the Needle. Let's get in there. When are we getting Radiant Lotus? I don't know if Radiant Lotus is gonna come to the stream. You know, I've been watching Dingo play the card. It looks very bad. I think Dingo's builds could, you know, use some work, and so I've been kind of thinking of different angles to tackle the card. But every direction I go with Radiant Lotus, it seems to be a worse artifact combo deck than any of the Dice Factory builds we have. And they don't want Radiant Lotus. It seems like Radiant Lotus seems worse than Semblance Anvil. Semblance Anvil to me seems like the better like artifact combo card. It's 3 mana and you know lets you churn through your deck with our like Mystic Forge deck, and I don't know. I guess I'm just not a believer, but it is a cool card and I would like for it to be good. Sand has a lot of good top decks. Let's go ahead and try it. Needle subs twin, right? Name Exarch. Yeah, I mean it does do that. I don't know how important that is in this matchup. Is kind of what I was trying to get at. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. Graveyarding a Flame of a Norm. Playing decks like this, I found myself wanting Ovalchase 5 through 8 as Squee consideration. Well, Squee is a lot worse than Ovalchase. You can only get 1 activation out of it a turn cycle. But boy, oh boy, can you consider it. Alright, so I think I want to play around a Moon effect a little bit by playing just a Cookbook here, not playing the Saga yet. Make my token now. I drink cough syrup. It's a kombucha. Try to drink one every once in a while for some digestion help. Got some problems in the old gut department. I think I'm going to play the Monument here. It's a little bit weird. but I kind of want them to counter this and not twin me. And then I'm okay if they counter and I just make a Saga token next turn too. Went on carnivore diet, that helps the digestion a lot. That's very funny because my doctor has recommended the opposite, to not eat meat, and I haven't been eating meat much lately, and it's been helping a lot. Everybody's different, of course, but I've got GERD, and one thing he suggested to try help was no meat diet. So thank you, Twitch chat. Always great medical advice. Getting twin comboed going to game 3. Oh, Athena was there? Mr. Okay, game 3 on the play. So Caleb and Dingo played Market Back last night and made me believe. Nice. Yeah, I want to play Market Back today. I've got a draft. I saw Caleb post about Market Back and Mako yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. But it's also the Multi 6. And he said that he liked Market Back Walker, or that he thought it was fun to sack, but he didn't think the deck was well positioned, which is, I think, probably kind of true, but we'll see. If energy picks up again, that might change, maybe not. Caleb also said that like he thought Mako was like worse than Nethergoyf, which I found like shocking, because I've like Mako has seemed so broken so far, like an unbelievably. Oh, they skipped their first turn. Okay, yeah, like Mako has seemed like unbelievably broken. So I always think it's kind of interesting how different gamers can come with different results. Yeah, I guess I don't need the Opal here. How was Repurposing Bay? So Repurposing Bay was pretty powerful, but it's kind of felt like watching like Dingo's Radiant Lotus streams. You just lose to any like single hate card when you're like really all in on Repurposing Bay. But it was like fast and powerful, and you put a bunch of 8-drops into play really quickly, and so I did think that dynamic was cool. Booster Therapy, thank you for the 8 months. Great username. I'm going to discard the Shadowspear, draw a card. Find a Mox Opal, which we could maybe probably just turn that into a card on our opponent's turn. Primetime Spike, that's mean. The issue with Hollow remains that it just loses to an average energy draw unless they have the nuts. I think that's interesting. I actually don't find that to be the case. I think Detective's Phoenix does a lot for you being able to defeat energy. But that's an interesting perspective. Do we want to get just totally wrecked by Spell Snare and jam this Goblin Engineer? I don't think I want to do that. Let me go and just discard an Arena of Glory, see what we draw. Love to find an Ovalchase Daredevil at some point. Find an Inti. So I'm going to grab the Mox Opal so that I can try to get a second Monument to Endurance in play next turn. Is it time for Terminus to shine now that we have Ketchermos and a bunch of graveyard decks? I mean, maybe. I mean, we played a little bit of Miracles recently. There's something going on over there. All right, turning through the deck here, growing the constructs. Hasting Goblin Engineer. Okay, whenever Lucy barks, I have a Esther just call her and totally distract her. All right, let's get Torpor Orb so that we are not just cold to. Yeah, it's not quite lethal. Let's just get Torpor Orb so we're not cold to the twin combo here. Ooh, baby. That's pretty nice. So I guess now I can go discard Daredevil, make a treasure token. No, Athena never barks. It's always Lucy. Athena's like silent always. All right, I don't know how. Sorry, this is a dog punt here. Although I guess I could just do this now. Yeah, just I get to rescue the Daredevil like this. Classic dog punt. Could be lethal if you dealt 3 on your turn and get on your turn. Well, I think this is still going to be lethal here. I'm going to attack for 12 first, and then they will be dead to the cookbook. If assuming they don't kill the construct. Did I consider Academy Manufacturer? I did consider Academy Manufacturer in my food deck, and I think Monument to Endurance is just a much better version of this effect. And I guess I should do this now because they have the Ghost Vacuum. So I'm not really very interested in discarding on my opponent's turn and losing the Daredevil for a card. Isn't it my Husky? How the heck do you have a Silent Husky? I thought they came with max volume. Yeah, it's I don't know the ratio, but some Huskies just are like totally silent. Athena, like, she'll go only very rarely when she feels like you've forgotten to do something. She'll like just issue a formal complaint. But like Lucy will bark like crazy, but Athena just never barks with her. She's just completely silent. That was the worst part about getting Lucy, is that now we have a dog that barks. I can actually trigger all 3 modes on turn 2 if I just draw a land. So I kind of went on a quest to get better at limited in 2023, 2024. And just a lot of it was like learning from my friends in the area who are they just draft constantly all day, every day. And they're really good. That's just their thing, is they're limited gamers. And like the problem with getting better at limited is that every limited format is different. So on like a more macro level, I felt like I had pretty good limited skills, but the problem is just every format is different and you have to prioritize different things. And so it's just good to try to find a resource that kind of understands what it is you need to be prioritizing in any given environment, if that makes sense. And just kind of try to understand that kind of like how constructed formats will resonate differently with different players. This is part of the reason why you see different players, like pro players, pop off at different times. It's just because like formats are always changing, and when they change, like they just connect more with some people than others, if that makes sense. Okay, so we missed on our first look at a land. Here's number 2. Or sorry, I guess we had already had 1 look, but nice. Okay, so turn 2 Monument. Draw a card. And so I think in general this is something I believe a lot about Magic, is that I think I'm just gonna main phase this and make a treasure token and pass. But something I believe a lot about Magic is that just different formats, different environments resonate differently with players, and some players just connect more with the landscape of a environment, which is always fun. The Vintage Cube Money Draft server. Yeah, it was. I've always kind of thought about joining y'all over there. It sounds fun, but I don't know. I've got too much else going on. Do you have suggestions to become better at things? Well, this is, as someone who this year has spent a long time, or like I guess 2024 and 2025, spent a long time trying to get better at a lot of things. Game design, exercise, writing, streaming. For me, change can happen, but it's just really slow. It's just always really slow. All right, second Monument to Endurance here. It says, so did you break Modern, or is this a good draw? I don't know. All right, let's go draw a card. Treasure token, so we can make a Saga token if we don't draw anything super relevant here. A looting would be pretty nice. An Asmo, not so bad. Did I say writing? Writing. W-R-I-T-I-N-G. I've written not a ton this year, like 5,000-6,000 words, but my goal is to have a first draft of a novel done by the end of the year. All right, Unholy Heat in, extra Pithing Needles in, Grafdigger's Cage is in. I'm not sure about the Pyroclasms. I don't think I want the Torpor Orb. Oh, the Pyroclasm does kill Collector Roof, which is kind of nice. Let's cut the Lantern. Cut the Bridge. Are there like 4 easy cuts beyond this? I'm not sure. I guess we can cut the Mutt because we're playing all these Grafdigger's Cages. I think that makes sense. Trim the 4th Opal, 4th Inti, 4th Engineer. Let's try that. Not disagreeing with the concession. Yogg is pro Asmo. Yeah, I mean we also needle on Yogg. The monuments, we're gonna kill them pretty quick. Anything that kills Oof is in for me. I mean, Oof is not so unbeatable for this like archetype. Yeah, like you still have other ways to trigger monument, and if you can get 2 foods in play first, you can kill with Asmo. It is good against you, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna go Saga, Cookbook, Opal, turn 1. I guess I'm just gonna put back the looting. Shadowspear over Opal. Yeah, I think so. I think Shadowspear is good against Yogg. Yeah, Monument seemed pretty good so far. Definitely early. I really like having Mox Opal legal. I hope it stays legal. All right, let's get ready to rumble. They hit a Yawgmoth, a Heath, or Shifting Woodland. My opponent chooses Shifting Woodland. Cauldron time. Alright, making a Saga token. So of course it's a problem that my opponent is going to be able to Cauldron their Yawgmoth on turn 3 here. Not something that happens that often, and is pretty tough when they get to do it. I also can't needle Eldrazi spawn. I'm going to have to needle the Cauldron, I think. No, I think we just get the cage. This is going to stop them from, like, combo killing me with Young Wolf. And that rules, I think. What's the ability on opponent's cards? Is this a weird Cauldron bug? Yeah, Cauldron has always had a weird visual bug that it says it can be cast as though spinning mana of any color. Or maybe it's supposed to be reminder text for the activated ability. But either way, it is just kind of weird and not really supposed to be on the card, I guess. Eldrazi Spawn token isn't a card name. Yes, you cannot... Tokens don't have card names that you could needle with Pithing Needle. They're not cards, they're tokens. A little bit weird. But yes. In fact, there was even some confusion when blood tokens were printed. Because there is a card called Blood. So people thought you could Pithing Needle name Blood and it would stop the tokens. But that also doesn't work. Yeah, you could name Blood, but it didn't stop blood tokens, was my impression. What if the token is a copy of a card? I think that you can needle that, but that's because the copy copies the name. Because they're blood cards, not blood tokens. Yeah, I mean, all of this just sounds like getting rules lawyered by the, like, you know, the guy at F&M. Actually, these are blood cards, or blood tokens, not blood cards, so your Pithing Needle doesn't work. Even though this is, of course, how it works, but I always feel a little weird with it for some reason. Ooh, 1/1 Ballista. So my constructs are going to be 9/9, so we're just going to expect to Chump blocks here, I guess. Yeah, Recipe says card or token, but Leyline of the Void doesn't specify token. So, like this was something like in like when like I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Leyline of the Void is really popular in the scam meta, and they would bring it in against you as Yawgmoth. So you would like try to prioritize sacking your tokens to gain life if you have Blood Artist in play. Really weird rules interaction. Yeah, we're probably going to get Shadowspear here. I mean, yeah, Needling Yawgmoth, that doesn't do anything. They already have a bunch of Yawgmoths. This is just a 4-mana 2/4. Ooh. Actually, the problem is they exile my Daredevil is the problem. Shouldn't I have booked before token? Yes, and I realized that and I stopped there. Okay, so yeah, I can't cast Monument and equip Shadowspear. Unless I make a treasure token. I guess that's gonna be my plan. Joven with the 18 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Lag. Oh, this one actually wasn't lag. I know it's very rare here on twitch.tv/aspiringspike, but I was making a decision. All right, they just let that go. Lose 3 life mode, potentially doing something. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise to anyone. The lose 3 life mode is super good. It's your main win condition in this deck. Like especially once you get 2 of them going, you're dealing like 12 damage a turn cycle. It's going to kill him pretty quick. That's a lava spike, you know. Like, you know, when we're talking about Monument to Endurance, the card just casts 3 different cards. It casts Think Twice, it casts Strike It Rich, or it casts Lava Spike. You know, 3 kind of weak 1-mana effects, but you can do all 3 of a turn cycle. Is there room for FOMO in the deck? No, I don't think so. Don't think I would play FOMO here. Opponent's seeing if they can live here. They put the Yawgmoth in front of the Constructs, which puts them currently dead, but I guess if they put the Young Wolf there too, or if they put a counter on the Yawg, then they can go to 1. Can Monument pair with Solitary Confinement? I don't know. I'm not. Solitary Confinement is one of these cards that makes my brain kind of glaze over. It's not a card I like to think about, but maybe that's something for you to work on. But I hate playing with Solitary Confinement. Games are so slow, and then it just also doesn't beat anything because there's so many disenchants. It's actually Bolt Wave Novelist Spike. Oh, sorry. With Inti and Asmo, is there any chance you a one of Mox Amber, or is there really no use to have 2 Moxen out? There's use to having 2 Moxen out, I'll say. I think there's use to having 2 Moxen out. But yeah, I don't. Mox Amber is kind of bad with only 8 legends. It's like kind of fringe playable. You could play 1. What are you cutting for it? I don't think that there's any card in this deck I would cut for a Mox Amber. If I was playing Ragavan, which we have played in builds like this sometimes, the first Mox Amber usually gets in there. But yeah, but also, you know, this deck does curve out at 3. It's not like we're dying to have Mox Amber in the deck. Monument making Frog work like a cookbook. Discarding Daredevil felt powerful. Yeah, I agree. You could play it in a Daredevil, a Psychic Frog shell. My kind of problem with playing with Psychic Frog is that I'm like really interested in. I'm really interested in playing Psychic Frog with Ketchermos, so it just feels weird to play it without Ketchermos, but it's probably not that important. All right, they're doing stuff here. Do you think they'll ever complete the Color Pair Titan cycle? I kind of hope not. I hope not. I'm kind of sick of these cards. They're not great. Sometimes she just stares. All right, opponent's at 3. I got a Monument in play. They've got a Young Wolf. I've got a Cage still. They're at 3 life. 4 cards in hand. They make multicolored Titans. You mean your hooks? I think they mean Flage, Uro, Croxa. So 7 more of those? No thanks. No thanks. If they were less generically good, it might not be that bad. I actually even just disagree. These cards, it's just, I think that, like, these really recursive threats are just not safe designs in general. Just one more Titan, bro. One more Titan. One more Titan, bro. I mean, I think if you were going to make another one, it couldn't be red because of Arena of Glory and looting. In the Thera story, there's a Demir Titan left without a card version. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe for MH4. A set I kind of hope they don't make. I hope they don't make an MH4. Unless Modern is just like the worst it could possibly be, then then maybe I'd be down for MH4. Okay, so we're going to attack before we kill them with the Monument. We need them to make the first move here. Okay, they're copying Innkeeper. They've made the first move now. I'm just going to... Each opponent loses 3. Do you think Modern's better for MH3? No, I think MH3 is my least favorite set of all time. It was such a disaster. How everyone else in the world feels about 2014 Modern is how I feel about MH2 Modern. Take me back. I think Modern's good now. But I really enjoyed MH2 Modern, and in the same way that MH2 stabilized a really bad broken Modern format. What's happening here? Are we gonna lose? In the same way that MH2 stabilized a really bad broken Modern format, I feel that MH3 destabilized a really fun balanced Modern format. Athena, do you want to go? You want to go outside? It is what it is. All right, keeping this. Let's put back Second Mountain. Street Wraith's so good with Inti because you can cycle it on your opponent's turn. Have the bans, unbans restabilized the fun format? Yeah, I think that Modern is fun at the moment. I'm having a good time. I think that after about 6 months of MH3 misery, we've finally kind of re-entered a playable Modern format. If they Burning Inquiry, it's going to go really hard with this Inti. Let me cycle this before they could possibly Bowmaster me. Oh, another one. I can do this all day, opponent. Dang, I don't have the third Wraith. Gallon with the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Things are good now, I think. Things are like, I'm just like, people are complaining about Breach, but I'm like, we have a playable Modern format. I'm just so happy to have a playable Modern format. It's not perfect. I say this all the time too. Modern will never be perfect. It just kind of can't be, but it's pretty dang good right now, I think. All right, let's go ahead and block off here. And I'm probably going to go for Goblin Engineer for Ensnaring Bridge. I guess I can't do that this turn because of the whole not having an artifact, or I guess I do have the extra red mana. So I guess what I should do is just go play Arena of Glory, cast Monument to Endurance, then live for a turn. And then I can go Arena of Glory, or I can get Cookbook, Arena of Glory, Ensnaring Bridge, put Bridge into play. Do people think here there's a perfect format? I don't think so, but and you know, it's not that you shouldn't strive to improve formats and you shouldn't hope that things get better, but I to me it's just that a big part of Modern, the appeal has always been that it's like kind of crazy and broken. Like I always have enjoyed. Like the hot and cold dynamics of being like, Amulet Titan, you know, or like whatever deck of the week or deck of the month or deck of maybe not deck of the year, but I always think it's kind of fun to have like kind of villains of the format and decks that you love to hate. Decks that you love to hate for me is a big part of the fun. And then sometimes it isn't like that, and it's just decks that are that you just hate. But you know what I mean? It's that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Would you be excited to play pure modern, no Horizon, etc. if it was an official format? If it was good, you know, that's for me not really that much more complicated than if it was good. I would be interested. So I do want to get my hand kind of empty here. So let's empty it of Inti. Bossum with the 50 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Do we get Opal now? We don't need an Opal here. Okay, so we get to go Hasty Goblin Engineer. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell for it. Damn it. Didn't hope hard enough, it seems. No Mako for shame. Could play Mako here. This feels a little off plan. Could be better than Inti, though. We do a second league of this deck. I'm kind of down to just try Inti. Or some Mako over Inti. Do you think Amulet Titan or Underworld Breach is better in that matchup? I think Titan is favored against Breach because of all the Besejus, and they're about the same speed. Kind of close. Sketchy Man in White Van, 4 months, but thank you so much. Imagine the Black Red Hollow deck will want Goyf and Mako. So possibly. I'm a big fan of how Mako makes it to where you just are not particularly weak to graveyard hate. I think that this is a really important dynamic. All right, great. Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push. They're also playing Ragavan. It's kind of interesting. So like, there's a lot of ways to build it. I do think Nethergoyf is really, really good in the archetype. I absolutely think, like when we played the deck last, we were playing Vengevine Rootwall of Flage. Could you play Nethergoyf Bowmaster? Yes, of course. Do you have to play Bowmaster? No. I kind of think Bowmaster is pretty overrated in that archetype. For whatever that's worth. But I think it's going to take some time, and I would just kind of encourage you as Hollow One players to just take some time and explore all of your options. It does seem like the Cage is going to be worse against this build. Maybe I'll just play one. Yeah, Mako has been really, really good in Hollow One. I agree. Go down on Wraiths against the aggro deck. We're going to play the deck, but Bowmaster Goyf is so expensive. Yeah, I mean, Bowmaster is just kind of like not super well positioned. It's a playable card, but it's only synergistic with one card in your deck, while any other card you play is synergistic with everything. Vengevine gives you the most nut draws. Like your best and most powerful draws are with Vengevine. And there was a stream a few months ago where we were playing Vengevine Rootwalla and we were running really hot with it. And I'm like, wow, of course, hell yeah, you got to play this combo. But I do think that there's like some balance between like, do you want a main deck interaction? You know, there's a lot of ins and outs. There's a lot of ways you can build it. There's a lot of ways you can like tune it for the metagame. A lot to do. I do think that Mako is the best one drop. Mako seems to be like mandatory one drop. The card gets gigantic really, really quickly, and it does so through graveyard hate, and it also cycles if you top deck it. So, big fan. Can't wait to see your take on a Red Shift Umbral Mantle Crackdown Construct deck. I'll get there any day. As you want to try 7 Adept with 4 Mako 3 Adept. I've seen 4-2 and 4-4. I don't think I've seen the mythical 4-3. So this is also the thing about Flameblade Adept. Is I'm of the opinion that DRC, Rootwalla, Nethergoyf are all better than Flameblade Adept. Flameblade Adept is not weak to graveyard hate, but also neither is Rootwalla. I think Rootwalla is really good. Ragnaros with the 2 months. As of right now, what do you think the best Ketchum shell is? I like Black, White, or Esper. My Black, White, and Esper builds are pretty similar. I I'm gonna play one or both in the challenge and the showcase challenge this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play Black, White, or Esper. I'm gonna maybe do some more off-stream testing. Kind of leaning towards Esper though. I did miss the Street Wraiths. Or should I, sorry, the Spell Snares. I think Canister was playing 4 Mako 4 Adept. Could be wrong. I know Canister was playing Adept. I don't know what the split was, but I think it's important to test all of this. I think you even maybe should play test the 2-mana Mako, like the one flying. Like that card could just like randomly be pretty dang good. Right, I was gonna cycle this one too. You know what's funny? I boarded out 2 Spell Snares this game. Or sorry, 2. Oh my! What? I need a psychologist. Okay, first I call Spell Snare Street Wraith, and then I call Street Wraith Spell Snare. I need someone to fix my broken brain. Okay, with the 2 months, thank you. Welcome back. I do think the Menace on Adept is kind of nice to push damage. Root Wall is pretty good if you're playing Vengevine. Otherwise, it's a lot worse. I do think Root Wall and Vengevine are a really good pair. Root Wall is also just really good in my opinion. This is maybe like where I differ from people, but like Root Wall, it's just a 0-mana 3/1. It's like it's a 0-mana 3/1 that you get to discard and put it into play for free, and it's like a pretty relevant attacker. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that card. Yeah, you could play Frog. I played Frog in Hollow 1. It's just really tough on the mana since you're so base red. But it is possible to do. Wait, they have a 1-mana Shatter? Oh, they're Surgical my Daredevils. That's okay. They did it with outpaying a mana, which is interesting too. I'm going to sack my food token here also. Got to pad that life total. 4 cards in their hand over there. You float away. Maybe let you had mana time. Maybe. Okay, so opponent maybe has Bowmaster up here. Okay, so I guess I'm going to put another Monument in the yard, and then I'm going to cast another Engineer. I'm going to put the Ensnaring Bridge in the yard, and then maybe this just gets pushed, and maybe that's okay. Engineer must be a bit better with Arena. Yeah, there was a long time last year that I was very desperate to figure out a show where you could play Goblin Engineer and Arena of Glory. I was saying this earlier. I was trying for days to figure out a loop with Cursed Mirror and Goblin Engineer and Arena of Glory, and I was so sure that there just must be a loop. And there are loops, but there are like 5 cards, so I couldn't find anything that really, really works. Okay, so we're getting Blood Mooned. Not the end of the world, I guess. They've cut themselves off black mana, too. Alright, so this is not so bad for us. You lose 3, we draw a card, and we make a treasure token. Not so bad. I can't haste this Goblin Engineer anymore. Maybe we could try to burn them out. Yeah, this is the main win condition of the deck. Especially once you get 2 of them in play. This is the main win condition. Nice. So 1 cookbook in play, 1 in hand. Seems like I could discard here. Why can't you haste the engineer? There's a Blood Moon in play that is making Arena of Glory just a mountain. Okay, nice. Go to game 3. Monument, good against Burning Inquiry. I mean, instead of drawing each turn with the book, maybe it's better to draw each turn. So in my mind, what you want to be doing is you want to be drawing first, and this is going to draw you more discard outlets, and it's going to draw you more monuments maybe, and this will kind of snowball into a spot where you get to kill them with the lava spikes. But I see what you mean. Going to game 3. Is there a plan against Stony Silence? Yeah, it might not look like it, but our deck isn't the weakest to Stony Silence. So Stony turns off Mox Opal and Cookbook, but you can still trigger Monument with Inti, Faithless Looting, Street Wraith. You can make Saga tokens. You can activate Asmo if you made foods earlier. You could just cast 3/3s, Construct tokens, trigger Monument. So the plan is to play through it, and I think that of all of the decks that I've been playing that are really weak to Stony Silence, this one is, I think, just not that bad against it. Can you explain one of the 5 mana engineer loops? It's not 5 mana, but it is 5 cards. Wow, Dothy Voidwalker, they're cooking. So if you go haste Goblin Engineer or Goblin Engineer without haste, I guess, and you and you have Rings of Brighthearth in play, Cursed Mirror, Lotus Bloom, and Altar of the Brood, you can do a loop where you are like copying Goblin Engineer with haste, and you're copying the Goblin Engineer ability with rings, and you're able to. Oh, they have their own Intis. Wow. It's kind of a lot. It's a lot, but you can get it going. Okay, there's a Saga and a mountain. And that was the best loop I found for the Goblin Engineer Curse Mirror tech. Did you ever pull off that 5-card combo in a real game of Magic? No, a good part about my process is I can just say, oh, this combo sucks, I'm not going to work on it. All right, down to 14. They've got a lot of pressure on me here. We may be sacking a food for life. Seems that way. Cycles a Wraith, revealing a Detective's Phoenix. All right, we're gonna lose this game unless we draw an Asmo next turn, I guess. I can still gain 3 this turn since I can go Asmo, discard, make a food token, Asmo Cookbook, make another food token, activate. In fact, I may even need to sack this food to live. Oh, yeah, we have the one of Bridge, too. Okay, so we've got like 5 outs. Down to 8. I guess I'm actually alive if I just make another food if they have nothing else. 8. 12. All right, they did not have anything else. You can go Monument, make a treasure, crack the food. Not enough. That's pretty good if we draw a land. I'm gonna mulligan on the play. Keeping this one. Putting back the Shadowspear. Could this deck play Mako? You could play Mako, I think. I'm kind of interested in trying Mako over Inti, I guess. Or maybe over Goblin Engineer. It's not clear to me that Engineer is like the optimal way to build it. I guess while our opponent thinks, we could start building 2.0. A more aggressive version that does something like cut Goblin Engineer, cut the Goblin Engineer tutor targets, plays Mako, and plays Galvanic Blast. Probably moves the needle to the board. Any Aetherspark decks that works? Yes, I have a deck that's playing Aetherspark and it's playing Bright Glass Gearhulk. It's not as spicy as it sounds, but tentatively we're gonna play that today. You got the Inti, not the Engineer. Okay, we'll get the Inti back in, of course, in this build. Kind of looks better. Like the monument, you lean more into like the monument damage. Would I want for more vaulted deck like this? No. Not interested in more colorless utility lands. Does Ketchermo's like Line Slash even remotely appealing? No, there's just like it's just like better with Graveyard Trespasser, better with Emperor of Bones for like 2 mana Graveyard Hate cards. Have I already rejected Dragon Engine? Yeah, I have. I know about Phyrexian Dragon Engine. You think I don't know about Phyrexian Dragon Engine? I was so hyped about Engineer Dragon Engine when it came out. And you just draw that card sometimes, and then Engineer dies before you get to activate it most of the time. Although you do have Arena of Glory, it's just not that good of a plan. So it's green-red Eldrazi. They choose Eldrazi Temple instead of Karn. Hopefully they don't have a Karn. We can needle it if they do. We also could play around K-Command by immediately putting the Monument into play. But if they... Oh, I guess Writhing Chrysalis is a cast trigger, isn't it? Anybody talk about Caleb's Radiant Lotus deck from last night? He had like 30 mana turn 6. Oh no, my Torpor Orb. Damn it. I'm still going to play the Engineer out despite the Orb. I'm going to play around the K-Command. Is Mutt a consideration? It's in the deck. He had 30 mana turn 6, cast Ulamog and Emrakul. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound very good. If you want to link Caleb's deck, I'll take a look, but... Like, Eldrazi could just hardcast Emrakul and promised it on turn 4 without jumping through any Radiant Lotus loops. What's better, Goblin Lore or Burning Inquiry with Monument? I mean, I don't think you should try to play either of those cards with Monument, probably. Does Orb do anything against their deck? I don't think so. I just played it out to sack to the Engineer, and then I didn't play around K-Command very well. Yeah, we have the Marvel deck that can cast Emrakul turn 3 that nobody wants to play. But Caleb, Radiant Lotus. I mean, Radiant Lotus is way sweeter. Neighbor Nebroleon with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, welcome back. This might be silly, but since you like Root Wallace, so I thought about playing Gev from BLB. Gev? Flame Case Cash Gecko is goofy, kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know what the hell Gev is. I don't know what Flame Cash Gecko is, but if you link me these cards, I'd be happy to read them. Maybe I forgot to play my Charmals today. You know, as someone who plays Magic the Gathering for a living, I sure have no idea what the hell you're talking about half the time. Oh, that's the standard card. The one that if opponents lost a life, you get to Burning Ritual, and you can spend mana to draw a card, discard a card. Don't love that one, if I'm being honest. All right, so it's got the little Lantern can be good against. Kozilek's Return and Emrakul. Yeah, I think I forgot my Charmals at home today. I see Goblin Engineer, but where's Duretti? The Duretti build is going to be bigger with Trash for Treasure, I think. How's Monument feeling? I assume it's a little expensive. Monument's been really good so far. We have Mox Opal. Like we've had like a couple games where we've just cast this turn 2 and activated it turn 2. Like 3 mana cards are a lot better than they used to be. Okay, so Gev is the Lizard Mercenary pay 2. Okay, so these are Lizard synergy cards to go with the Root Wallas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm in, but I definitely watched Ash play those cards and they look pretty cool. What do you think about Darksteel Citadel? I think we just don't. We can't afford to play any more colorless lands. But you know, someone asked about Fumori Vault. The artifact I would play instead of Fumori Vault, or the colorless utility land would probably be Citadel. But you know, imagine we had a Monument to Endurance in our hand here. It would just be turn 2 plus trigger. Trash for Treasure for Portal. I mean, that is, of course, the problem with Trash for Treasure is there's, like, kind of nothing amazing to Trash for Treasure, but Portal something. I hope they don't K-command my Asmo on turn 1. Alright, let's loot. I guess I'm going to not keep backup Asmo. Little late Urza Saga. Second K command. Let me attack before flashing back the looting here. Not such a promising board for us here. I do think I am pretty interested in trying to play something closer to this build. It's just so tough to play Damping Spheres for Titans and Charmals for Eldrazi. But I guess with these Galvanic Blasts, we can peel the heats out of the board. We could probably go down a Needle, but I would want to play more Torpor Orbs, like 3 Torpor Orbs. Although maybe like Torpor Orb can just be like a big part of my sideboard plan against Titan. Maybe Torpor Orb can be as part of my sideboard plan against Titan, and then that can open up room for Charmal for Eldrazi. But I think I want to pivot into the aggro Mako build real quick, so we have time to get to hopefully our 2 other backup decks today.